obvious.
Hello, welcome to the SegaSonic run.
Hello, everybody. We're back. Well, I'm particularly back. Well, let's start with a little quick introduction. But before I do, I want you all to, if you're pretty much excited for this run, I want you all to do me a favor before we get started. Let us know which character you want me to play as, because we have Sonic, Ray, and Mighty. Let's see it in the chat right now. But that said, hello, friends and fellow gamers. My name is TempestMask1000. Some of you might have seen me yesterday with Mega Man Extreme 2, and that was definitely a fun time. But now I'm here to bring my sole Sonic representative of my little repertoire, at least at current anyway. This is SegaSonic the Hedgehog, and it's an arcade game that originally functioned on a trackball controller. Of course, this thing is a bit rare to find because it was also Japanese exclusive, so it's with that in which, obviously, any speedrun that most people would do is performed through MAME, which does make this quite an interesting game to play. It adds a certain extra element of, I guess you could say, fun to it as well. But yeah, I'm going to be doing the Beat the Game category, which is one of two main categories in particular. We'll explain the second one as I go along, but my commentator joining me is another runner of this game, S2.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me, my dude.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, so it's with that in mind, though, we're going to get started. Let's take a look at the chat. It seems to be a couple more Mighties in the chat, so you know what? Let's go with Mighty. And time will begin once I have selected the character. So let's get to that. I'm going to insert my virtual tokens. And here we go. One more time. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, S2, take me away.
All right, so there is already been quite a lot in the few seconds of gameplay here, because there is a little tutorial screen that you might have seen flash up for a second that has been skipped. So we already have our first cutscene skip in the game, but this game is an isometric 3D platformer, which there are a few in the Sonic franchise, but
Mighty,
they're
please.
generally rarer.
Mighty, please. This screen always gets me.
So yeah, we've got pretty basic controls, but they are confusing as all get out to actually master. You only can jump and run around. None of the characters have any of their signature moves yet that they get in later installments, such as Sonic Mania. All you really can do is run and jump in this one, but there is little techniques that we have for kind of moving around, and the way that the characters move needs to be kind of controlled in a particular way. So it's really one of those games that can be really troubling to master, you know? And there are 6 levels in this game, which all have, all except the last, have alliterated names, making this one of those alliterated Sonic games. Shout out to my alliteration friends out there.
Heck yeah. We love a good alliteration.
We love it. But yeah, that's basically all there is really to be said about this. It's quite a short little arcade game that I personally love. I think it's very charming. I love the art style. I love the music. It's a great game.
Very much so. And I will say that watching S2 and our good friend Hypnotics is very much what inspired me to give this game a shot. I just knew that there was so much charm in something so lesser known, and something that, honestly, I just wish came to the States, because that's one of the interesting details about this particular game. It could have. Some of you may be familiar with the Sonic Gems collection, for example. That actually was supposed to be on this, and even had in its code a little bit of localization. Come on, Mighty, get up there. It's like this game always does that to me, I swear. Anyway.
On the topic of ports, a little bit more trivia. This game was considered for for a port to the 32X, and as well as later on considered for a port to the Switch under the Sega Ages collection. And there are rumors now of 1UP Arcade picking up this game, but nothing's confirmed. So overall, this game does see a little bit of news every now and then, but you know, nothing too
concrete,
nothing too mainstream. Yeah, nothing too concrete.
Unfortunate, but hey, I always believe that one of these days we will see this game get a little bit of justice. I always fancied the idea of a console port anyway, like. Call it the Sega Arcade Gems Collection or something like that. That would be a fun way of doing it, or the SegaSonic collection or whatever.
Oh, I agree. I think this game really could use some sort of porting. So I guess to actually talk a little bit more about the gameplay here and not the trivia on it, we probably should do that, right? We're already 2 levels through. We've seen volcanic vault and icy isle. So we've got our staple volcano level, our staple ice level. We're about to hop into desert level, desert dodge here, and there's some very tricky things to be avoided in this level that can really eat up time. There's some like sand pits that have things in the bottom that can eat you, and these are huge time losses in the run, and they're very hard to avoid and jump over. So this is probably going to require Tempest to give a bit of concentration here.
Okay, looking good so far.
Looking good.
So we also got some bugs, robotic bugs chasing us, because you know it's not a Sonic game without a little badnik here or there.
Yeah, this game is kind of notable in how little there is of enemies. There's one boss fight in the whole game, which we'll get up to a little bit later. And these are some of the only enemies in the games, those worm things that chase us around here, so... Not a ton of characters in this game, but speaking on the characters, this is actually the debut for Mighty and Ray, who made their appearances in Mania a few years back. So Mighty and Ray fans, this is your game.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, while Mighty did get some representation in Knuckles Chaotix, it is without a doubt that those 2 characters have been MIA for a very long time, and to see them finally make a comeback feels great. Now, personally speaking, I would love to see a bit of a resurgence for Bean, Bark, and Fang, but hey, bits and pieces where we get them.
Maybe for Mania 2, right?
Oh, if there's a Mania 2, I'm gonna flip.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's talk about the second category, though, because there's a reason why I'm avoiding as many rings as I possibly can. While they do have the nice little bonus benefit of recovering some of your health. Oh, come on, game. What are you doing? Thank you. I was like, does the game actually wait for the first gear to fall down or something? I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. But
yeah, I guess.
If I get 50% rings in any kind of level, that's going to give me a bonus, but I don't want those because that's going to be a little bit of time loss. But there is a category called All Bonuses, which I do intend on learning it at some point because it does seem very intriguing, and it's also the only other category that we can really do for a game like this because it's really just that simple. There's not much variety, but it's also, I guess it's what makes the game interesting, at least to me anyway, you know?
Yeah. So also, while we're here, this ladder section, you can just climb up this right side and go right through the bombs, which is a really funny little insight and a huge speed strategy. Saves tons of time. So that was like one of the bigger speed strategies of this run, is that ladder, and Tempest obviously did it very, very well because you just hold up.
I have slipped up though on the last time I ran this game for the event, so it is nice to get a bit of a sort of comeback on that. Small as it may be.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to the other category, all bonuses is a very hard run because of the way the rings are laid out in these levels and the way that the controls are so slippery, maybe you might say. It is very hard, and beat the game, which we are doing right now, is the primary category of the game. This level is the level that contains the boss fight, so in a few seconds here we're going to see the only boss battle in this game, which is extremely tricky. There is actually a glitch that was found somewhat recently for this this boss, but it requires almost perfect precision to actually set up. I think the last time this game was in a marathon was a race where neither of the runners got the setup, and I may or may not have been one of those runners.
Oh, goodness.
But there is other ways to kill it besides doing an insanely difficult glitch. You can just hit it 10 times, and you will be able, sometimes more than 10 because of the janky hit detection in this game. But you can get it through it.
One thing I've always been curious about is what would happen if I was able to secure a trackball controller, and if I'd be able to properly program it for this game, because that's... Let me reiterate, this game was originally built off a trackball control series, which keyboard controls in game and controller controls, they're not bad to use for this game. It's just that the reason you see my character swerve here and there... Oh wait, hang on.
So, to explain here why Tempest has just held his breath is it has become somewhat of a marathon tradition for this game to hold your breath in this underwater section. It takes maybe 30 seconds or so, but it's pretty long, so it's a little bit of a trouble to actually hold your breath the whole way through. And the gameplay isn't difficult very much here. All you have to do is just hold down and right to get through it, but we have kind of taken on this little arbitrary challenge of holding our breath in the underwater section, in solidarity with our characters, who certainly must be holding their breaths underwater too. So
got it. Easy every time.
Nice.
I just love it. I still remember seeing him do that for the first time, and I was just so caught on to the idea myself. I was sold. Oh, jeez!
Yeah, I think it's fun. Yeah, this is one of the harder sections now of the entire run. Is the second part of Wild Waterway. There are these rafts, and the hitboxes are just odd. They're just interesting and strange and bizarre and all other sorts of weird. So this section can be very hard. I'm fairly certain it was just made to eat quarters of people playing this.
I wouldn't doubt that at all.
Because it is really a difficult section.
It is brutal.
Takes a lot of mastery to learn.
Oh Jesus! What the? I've never seen that happen before.
And there is in fact 2 sections of this, so
this is probably going to eat up a lot of my time.
Maybe, but
I guess the game is paying me back for having a good, a halfway decent boss fight. So who knows?
Yeah.
Come on, Mighty!
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of precision involved in having a deathless run of this game. Most runners cannot get through it deathless. It certainly took me a lot of tries to do so.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
That's Wild Waterway, so we're coming up on the final stage of the game, actually, which, crazy enough, we're already there. This game is rather short, but it's a lot of fun in its brevity.
Very much so. I mean, I say it's one of the very definitions of the whole gotta go fast mantra, if I do say so.
Oh yeah, for sure. I am a little interested in what's the slowest possible run of this game.
Oh yeah, that would be funny to see.
I would love to know, but I don't have the patience to figure it out.
Okay, hopefully that's the... Mighty! That's hopefully the last time I have to die there.
This level is kind of similar to the first part of Trap Tower, which we saw earlier, but even harder. So, and there's 2 sections and then a final escape section. So we've seen the first one already. We're about to go into the second one, and really, this honestly is the hardest, hands down, the hardest level in the run. So getting through it damageless is a huge feat.
I have technically done most avoiding before. It's just, I guess my fingers are not used to it. It's been a while, maybe a little too long.
Even on my best runs, I usually like run into 1 or 2 things.
Yeah.
So it's just a hard level.
All right, we're gonna come up to finally come face to face with our good friend Eggman. But unfortunately, he's gonna activate the self-destruct sequence, and now we got to get out of here. So we're actually coming up on time very soon. There's 1 of 2 endings that I can get. Regardless of which one I get, that'll still be time. But like the bad ending is, we see the countdown, reach 0, and that'll be that. The good ending, time will be on when I hit the exit. Let's see what I get. So sad that it had to go so fast. Time!
Hey, congrats.
Thank you. Alright.
Well played.
Indeed. Alright, let's see what my final... I'm gonna see what my final time was in just a bit. I assume that I did not get a PB, but it looks like I was very close to it. Let me just check right now.
Congrats, man.
No, it's fine. It's, let me see here. Let's make sure. Let's make sure. But, yeah, no, that was SegaSonic the Hedgehog. Really fun game. I would highly recommend you all try it out yourselves. It looks like I had a 1430, so my PB is 1419. So not today, but that's still close. Very close, very close.
We get some uncanny pictures of the characters in the credits.
You love to see it.
A pretty banging soundtrack for it too, if I do say so myself.
I would want to give a shout out to the voice actors, because this was actually one of the first times that a Sonic game had voice acting in it, and although the actors in question did not reprise their roles in later stuff, a special big shout out to Takeshi Kusao, best known for the voice of Trunks from Dragon Ball Z, who does Sonic himself. Really nice, if I do say so.
Oh yeah. The voice acting is great. We're gonna get a short voice-acted cutscene of Eggman here, which I love.
Sploosh!
Sploosh.
And there you go. So that's SegaSonic the Hedgehog, everybody. That's gonna basically it for me. S2, where can everyone find you?
I am S2 Live on Twitch and some other platforms, and if I'm not S2 Live, I'm S-TWO. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
What about you?
Well, I'm TempestMask1000 here on Twitch, as well as my YouTube channel, and while I do not have a static streaming schedule, whenever I do plan on doing so, you can probably find a little announcement of such on my Twitter, at @It'sTempestSteve. So, yeah, not much else to say, except thank you to the Sonic Adventure Era community for having me not once but twice. It was a pleasure getting to do some gaming for you all, and as I mentioned in my Mega Man Extreme 2 run, I am actually part of the Sonic 06 community, so hopefully you'll see me doing some of that very soon. But other than that, yeah, just a special thanks to everyone for being here today, and I hope the rest of the community event goes very smoothly and all that jazz. So, hey, until we meet again, this is Tempest, signing out. Ciao, amici.